in this tutorial, I'm showing you how to set up your goals and outcomes page. So make sure you're already on your goals and outcomes page before you get started. Then go ahead and scroll down to the instructions. Again, if I am going too fast or slow, you can go ahead and speed it up or slow it down or pause and rewind to see the instructions again. All right, so we're going to be working in the white section here, but our instructions are going to be in this reddish pink section here. So a few things that we're going to do are work on the short-term goals, the long-term goals, and then we're going to be working in our learning outcomes section. So the first thing you want to do is come up with at least 3 short-term and long-term goals, and what you're going to do is you're going to either double-click or click the pencil button in the corresponding boxes, and you're going to just replace these bullets with that. So what you can do is delete all of these, because you know you're going to be putting in 3 anyway. Type in whatever goals that you have, and then when you have all 6 done, you're going to move on to the outcomes part. So I already have my 3 goals pasted or written out, so I'm just pasting them in so you don't have to spend time watching me do that. So I pasted them in and the bullets went away, and so I highlighted them and then clicked on the button here and then the bulleted list to get my bullets back. All right, so I'm just going to plug in my long-term goals. And for short and long-term goals, the time frame is really up to you as to how long you think those are or how short you think they are. And then what you're going to do is just make sure that the goals are specific enough, but they cover any of these different topics here: school, career, finances, health and wellness. You can make them all about school, you can make them all about finances or whatever. So just choose whatever you want, but make sure you have 6. If you are applying for our scholarship, which we do every fall and spring, make sure you add more than 6 goals. All right, so I have my goals plugged into that section there. We're going to scroll down now and we're going to work on the learning outcomes section. Now, if we go back up to this, we're going to have to read through all the learning outcomes and then list our courses and then the assignments that go with those that we feel helped us to achieve those learning outcomes. After we do that, we're going to link the courses and assignments to that correct page. And then every semester you're going to come back and update this page, because you might have finished some goals, you might be adding to your goals, you will be taking new courses, so you're going to be adding new courses to this list as well. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some of these different ones and just kind of talk about them so that you can kind of understand what we're doing here. So the first learning outcome, this paragraph here, is about communicating effectively. So as you're reading through this, you're trying to think of the different courses and assignments that have helped you to obtain these different skills. So any classes where you're learning how to develop critical literacies like reading, writing, speaking, visual understanding, maybe you're organizing, presenting ideas visually or orally, or maybe you're in some kind of small group or interpersonal settings and you're communicating in that type of setting, you're going to be putting that class down here and then you're going to be putting the assignment next to it. So for example, in your English class, which you would be doing a lot of writing, you might do a presentation, and that presentation might be a group project. You're going to be listing your class here. So I'm going to delete this part. So I double clicked and I'm going to delete all the way to the bracket, and you would put in your class. So this would be ENGL, the number 1010, and then whatever the name of the assignment is, which might just be signature assignment, but it might be final project or it might be something else. So I'm just going to change this to final project. So once I have that in, the next thing you want to do is link it to the proper page. So we're going to scroll up. You might have to watch this part a few times or just watch it carefully. So you're going to hover over coursework and look for the page that it goes on. So I know that it is an EN, and so my English 1010 is here, but you can also go to your academics and records page and figure out what page it goes on. So you can see that these HLAC courses are LW courses. Sometimes you're going to see that the course doesn't have this designation here. These are called designations. And that just means it's not a gen ed course, and that's okay if there isn't one. You're going to be focusing for this section just on these gen ed courses, so the ones that have the designations here. But do feel free to add your other courses as well. But we do know that for that one particularly, we're going to be looking at the EN page. So right here is my 1010. If you do have some other situations where you have, let's say you have 2 fine arts, you might have to create a page for that first before you start linking those pages. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to show you how to link this part. So we're going to right click and we're going to copy the link address on top of the page that we need. If you need it for your fine arts, for example, and it doesn't have this drop down menu here, you can just go ahead and do it right on top. All right, so now we're going to scroll down and we're going to double click in here and make sure that the black bar shows up and your button is blue here. We're going to highlight what we just typed, and then we're going to click on this chain link button, and in here, this bar, we're going to paste, and we'll click on the check mark. All right, so now that we've done that, I've clicked in here, and now I can highlight this and copy it. And I can stick that in another spot as well. So you're going to go through the list and figure out where else you are learning different skills from this project or this class. And so the next one is about math. So I'm going to say probably not, because in my English 1010, I probably won't be doing that. But I might be doing critical thinking and creative thinking. So what I can do is just delete this, and I can just paste in the new one, or that one that we just put in. And then just go through the rest of the list and figure out if there's other places where you can stick that. All right, so that's it for this page. If you need to watch that again, make sure just rewind and you can see how that's done again. When you're done, you're going to scroll to the top and click on Publish Changes. And just remember, you're going to return to this page every semester to update your goals and your courses and assignment.